What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mia, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to become a licensed real estate agent in Texas. So if this is something that you've been looking for, you came to the right place. Let's go. Okay, so now that you have decided to become a licensed real estate agent in Texas, there are 3 requirements that you need right off the rip. The very first thing is for you to be minimum 18 years of age. Of course, that's almost everywhere, right? So if you're 18 years of older, if you are a U.S. citizen, if you've already a realtor, you know that they've just changed this law. At first, to be a realtor in Texas, you had to be a resident of Texas, but now it has been updated a couple weeks, maybe 2 months ago, that now you can be a licensed agent in Texas without living in Texas. So as long as you are at least 18 years of age, you are a U.S. citizen or a lawfully admitted alien, you can also be a realtor. The last thing is from TREC, which is the Texas Real Estate Commission. That is the place where you will get your licensing, you will do your renewal, where people can file complaints on you, whether it's the public or another realtor, whatever the case may be. They want you to have 3 things, and it is trustworthiness, honesty, and integrity. So those 3 things from TREC, being 18 years of age and being a citizen or a lawfully admitted alien, are the first things you need right off the rip to become an agent. If you can check all of those off your list, you're in a great start. All right, so the very first step you will have to do is to go online to trec.texas.gov, and you will start your application and you will create an account. Again, TREC is Texas Real Estate Commission. This is where you will get all of your licensing done and everything else. Anything dealing with real estate, majority of it will be going through TREC. So make sure you get this account. You remember your login and your password, because you will need this throughout your real estate career. So again, you will go onto that website, you will create an account, and you will submit the application. Now, you do have the opportunity to print the application, fill it out by hand, and mail it in, but please understand that they do charge you an extra $20 processing fee if you choose to complete your application by mail. So save yourself $20 and do it over the computer. The application itself is $205, so be ready for that when you apply. Okay, so step 2 is to make sure that you get fingerprinted by the DPS. Every realtor has to get fingerprinted. Every realtor, every real estate agent, every broker, everyone in the business has to get fingerprinted. So make sure you get that done. If your fingerprints are not in the system, you will never end up getting licensed. So make sure you do get your fingerprints taken care of. If you don't get your fingerprints taken care of, again, no licensing for you. All right, so step 3 is making sure you handle your 180 hours worth of courses that you have to take in order to become licensed. So I'm gonna look off to the side and give you the names and how many hours each one of these courses is. Remember that these are mandatory. These are the minimum classes that you need to even get your foot into the door to even become licensed. So the first class is Principles of Real Estate 1 and 2. There will be 2 different courses, 1 and 2. Both courses are worth 30 hours, so that's 60 hours right off of those 2 classes. And then your third course will be Law of Agency, another 30 hours, Law of Contracts, another 30 hours. Your promulgated contract forms is 30 hours, and then your real estate finance is another 30 hours. So that totals 180 hours. So you will pick whatever real estate licensing school you like to go through. TREC, the website, again, they have a list of places that you can go to that are accredited that you could get these courses from. All the prices vary, so it'll be up to you to do your due diligence to see how much you want to spend, but all of these places will have these 6 courses that you need in order to become licensed. So get those. After you take those classes, you will receive a certificate for each course saying, you know, blah, 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 completed. Principles of Real Estate 1 is worth 30 hours. It'll have the date that you completed the course. So once you get all 6 of your certifications back, you will go back into your online services via Trek, the website, and you will submit all of your certifications, and it then will take them a couple weeks to process all of your certifications and then to be able to move on to the next step. So remember, you take your 180-hour courses and then you submit all of your certifications into your online portal. Okay, so step 4 will be you taking the exam. So while you're doing your 180-hour worth of courses, those courses is what's going to be preparing you for your exam. So this exam must be passed with at least 70%. You have up to 3 times to take it off your first payment, and then after your initial payment, if you haven't passed within the first 3 times of you taking the exam, you will need to take additional courses. So make sure you are really paying attention while you're going through those 6 courses, getting those 180 hours. Make sure you're studying, all of that kind of stuff, because who wants to take more classes to have to still pass the same tests, right? So when you are approved, again, this is after you have submitted all of your 6 certifications for the 6 courses that you have taken. Usually Trek will send you an email telling you, you know, that you're in the green light to go ahead and go and schedule your exam. So you will schedule the exam through Pearson View. They'll have a website where you can like pick the day and pick the time slot that you would like to go in and take your test, and then that's that. Hopefully you pass on the first go round. Not many agents do, but a lot do. And a lot can, you know, just make sure you study, you're not wasting your time. But yeah, you will take the test, and then that will be that for step 4. Okay, so step 5, which is the final step into becoming a real estate agent in Texas. What you will need to do is find a sponsor. Okay, so a sponsor is usually a broker, and you need to find a sponsor because someone needs to, quote unquote, be responsible for you. So once you pass the test, so after you've taken all 180 hours and you pass the test, Trek will issue you an inactive license. So the inactive license basically means that you've passed all the material, you understand everything, but you don't basically have like a backing in order for you to start actually practicing real estate in the state of Texas, right? So you'll find a sponsor, and that's people like Keller Williams or Remax or Better Homes and Gardens, you know, any of these people. It's smaller ones out there, but you know, you find any of these brokers and you can send in a sponsor request, and if they, you know, choose to bring you on board, they will go in on their side and go ahead and accept your request. And then after your request has been accepted by whichever broker you choose to work with, then Trek will send you an email, you know, saying congratulations, you now have an active license. And from that point, you can go directly, you know, into practicing real estate. Whatever broker you choose, typically they have a whole, you know, program for you to get started. That's a whole nother video, but typically a sponsor will, you know, help you get your feet wet, get you in the door, get you some sales or get you some buyers, whatever the case may be. But that is the steps to how to become a real estate agent in Texas. Okay, so let's talk about the fees that are associated with you becoming a licensed realtor. So again, in Texas, off the rip, your application fee is going to be $205, okay? $205. You will have to pay that online when you go into, you know, trek.texas.gov to apply. You will pay the $205 right then and there. The next thing you will have to pay for is the background check and fingerprinting, which is typically like $38, $39. So make sure you factor that into your budget as to becoming a licensed agent. That is not, you won't pay the $38 when you pay the $205. You'll actually pay the $38 to whatever company, you know, that you go through in order to become fingerprinted. The next thing that you will pay for is a $10 real estate recovery fee. Now let's talk about this. It's $10 that when you apply, and every 2 years when you renew, so in Texas we have to renew our license every 2 years, you are required to pay this $10 fee. This $10 fee basically goes into this big savings account for whenever you fuck up, basically. So let's just say you did a client wrong and they wanted to sue you for one reason or another. This $10 that you pay goes into that account that the state will use if and for whatever reason they will need to make a payout to the person that you caused harm to, and not physical harm, just harm in general. So that's what the $10 recovery fee is for. Again, you're going to pay that upon application, like when you're applying to become a licensed agent, and every single time you renew you will pay that $10. So the next thing you will pay for, like I said earlier, is the $20 paper processing fee, and that will only be charged to you if you decide to mail in your application. Obviously we're trying to, well, not we as in me, but you know, we as in the world, a lot of people are trying to save the planet, so they actually charge you now to do stuff for paper. So again, if you choose to send in your application and all of your documentation via paper, they are going to charge you $20 to do that. So that's that. So $205 application fee, $10 recovery fee, $38, $39 background fee, and possibly a $20 fee if you choose to send it in via paper. Now, those 180 hours that we talked about earlier that you need, those 6 courses that ends up being 180 hours, if you go on to trek.texas.gov, under education, they will show you, you know, depending on what city and stuff that you're in. A lot of these places are online too, so, you know, still just put your city in. They will show you all of the accredited schools or programs that the Texas has, you know, that Texas, the state has approved in order for you to get your 180 hours. Me personally, I went through Champions of Real Estate. I know they have one here in Houston. They have one in Dallas. I believe they have one in San Antonio. They're pretty big. They are who I went through. Now, Champions is a little bit more pricey than the others around. Again, I can only use Houston because that's where I am. They are a little bit more pricey. So to get that 6-hour or 6-course package that's worth 180 hours, Champions charges you $980. Again, you can find other people that charge like $400 or $500, but with the 980 package from Champions, you get the 6 hours, you get the books, you get the PDFs if you choose to do the classes online. That's your test, and it's maybe some type of study material, I don't know, but they have like 5 or 6 or 7 different packages that you can choose from, but 980 is the cheapest one from Champions, and it gives you the basics, which is the 6 courses that you need and your tests, basically. Do you? That one works for me. That's what I did. So just to sum it up, that puts you at about, you know, anywhere from $1,200, you know, and $30 to $1,200 and, you know, $50, depending if you do, you know, the paper application or not. Just for startup, that's just getting licensed and all that kind of stuff. Now, the reason why I would encourage anyone to go through Champions is because they have a bunch of different platforms in order for you to finish your courses. So for instance, you can take classes in person where you could go there, you know, however many days a week that they have the class, and you could be face to face with somebody if you're a student that just learns better that way. They have it where you could be virtual via Zoom. They have it where you can get blended classes. So if on Tuesdays you can actually go into the building, but on Thursdays you can't, you need to be virtual, they have it to where you can mix it up that way, and I really like that. I feel like that's another reason why it's a little bit more expensive, because not every place is offering you all of that. And then they also have kind of sort of like self-paced, basically, where you just read all the stuff, you know, yourself. The only thing about that is that when you take the test for all of these courses, so the 6 courses you have to take, you have to pass a final exam for each, you know, one of those courses. Each course that you take and each exam that you take, you have to take the test in front of someone. So if you are taking your courses face to face, then you will just take your test in front of, you know, the teacher there. But if you choose to do it online via Zoom, they'll just ask for your ID. You will show them who you are, and you will take the test over the computer on camera the entire time, you know, with someone watching you. That's how I did it. I did all of my classes online. I didn't go up for any classes. I did go to pick up my books, but that was it. And again, like I said, you can get your books PDF, but I wanted to have a hard copy. Other than that, the only other things that I could talk to you about as far as getting started is the timeline. So it took me from start to finish, from when I applied on the Trek website to when they, you know, told me that I was done after I passed my test, basically. That took me 6 weeks. It really would have taken me 5 weeks, but I took like a week vacation off in the middle of it. So I would have finished in 5 weeks, but I ended up finishing in 6 weeks. So I literally knocked all of my classes out. I was on Zoom all day, every day. In class, taking my tests, you know, in there with my teachers, in there with, you know, fellow classmates. I knocked the courses out in 5 weeks. It does take Trek like 2 to 3 weeks to process your application, so make sure you factor that into your timeline too. If there's, you know, a specific time that you're trying to make sure you're certified by or licensed by, make sure you factor in the 2 to 3 week processing time on their end. And to be clear, the test that you take, the final test to become licensed, that test that you take is not a test that teaches you how to be a realtor or a real estate agent. It is a test that basically makes sure you know how to not get sued and stuff like that as an agent. So once you pass the test and you get with your sponsor and broker, they will actually be the ones to really teach you how to be a real estate agent, you know, and how to make sales, how to get clients, this, that, and the third, you know, how to work open houses, how to do showings. The courses that you take is literally like all the legal stuff, all the legalities about being a real estate agent. So make sure you keep that in mind. Even after you take the test, even after you pass, there's still a shit ton of stuff that you have to learn. And of course, it's one of those things that you will learn on the job. I hope all this information was helpful. If it was, please make sure you give me a like, subscribe, share, all of that. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below and I will get back to you. Other than that, please remember to be a great person and share the love. Bye.